Hello, thought I'd just do a video about how to collect physical media in 2024 and going into 2025. If you're a viewer who generally has sort of just streamed films, or you've used digital versions of films, mainly for streaming, if you've got various streaming sites but you're struggling to find the films that you want to watch, you're finding that a particular film that you wanted to watch is no longer available on your particular streaming platform, but it's available on another one now. Excuse me. You think, well, I don't want to subscribe to that. Okay, so what about physical media? I've still got a DVD player. I've still got a Blu-ray player. How do I go about finding physical media in 2024? So we're going to discuss this today on the channel. So, yeah, how do you go about getting physical media in 2024? Well, there's various ways. You're more limited now on the high street, but if you do have an HMV store, they still stock DVD, they still stock Blu-ray, and they still stock 4K. Not every town has a physical media shop anymore, like HMV. Supermarkets tend not to sell physical media anymore, although Morrison's do sell a smaller range, and Asda, I think, at the present time still do, although I think that is being phased out. So where else do you go? Well, your best place is online. Now, again, HMV have their own online store, which you can find many collector's editions on there, which might not be available in the store. You can pre-order those. You can find great deals on HMV. Typically with 4K, you've got 2 for 30, 2 for 25, 2 for 15, sometimes on Blu-rays. It's worth looking around, certainly for good deals. So HMV is a good place to start. You've got other options as well. And particularly if you're on a budget, I would recommend websites like Music Magpie, World of Books. You can go onto these and they're pre-owned copies of films. They do sell some new films, but generally it is pre-owned stock, and they have some fantastic deals on there, especially Music Magpie. You'll see deals for £3 for £5, 2 for £4, this kind of thing. So if you can mix and match, it's a great place to start a physical media collection. Typically DVDs are very, very cheap on there, between £1 and £2, depending on the title. But like I say, if you can do these bundles, you can get 3 or 4 DVDs and 3 or 4 Blu-rays for a similar price, £3 to £4. So it's a great way to start a collection. So where else do you go? Well, eBay. That's another great place to look. And again, Music Magpie do have an eBay store. They have their own store. But yeah, again, they run offers on their eBay store. So it's a great place to go and check out. What's really good about Music Magpie, again, because you may think, well, pre-owned, there might be scratches on these discs. They might not play. Is it going to be a disc that I can put in my player, a UK disc? Now, obviously for DVD, it's region 2 for the UK. For Blu-ray, it is regions B, or region A, B and C, which is worldwide unlocked. Generally, Music Magpie will only sell UK discs, whether that be a DVD, a Blu-ray or a 4K. Now on 4K, all 4K discs are region free, so they can be played in any country on any player. But typically for DVD and for Blu-ray, you need to have region 2. They may still sell region 1 DVDs, which are for the US market, and then regions 3 and 4 are for more the Asian market. But again, generally on these sites, they will tell you whether this is an import or not, what region coding it has. So you've got no real worries. Music Magpie's customer service is extremely good as well. If you find a disc doesn't play, contact them and they will either send a replacement disc or they will just refund you the money. I've bought many a discs from them and had no issue. And especially through eBay, it's a really, really good service. You can also buy on eBay from private sellers, people like you and I, that will sell their second-hand films or even ones they bought that are still sealed. And often you can pick things up really, really cheap. Now, if you're interested in the collector's editions, again, if you're savvy, you can sometimes pick up some really good deals on eBay, sometimes cheaper than the original price. But equally so, there are people selling on eBay things at inflated prices. So it's always worth doing a bit of research before you sort of attempt to buy on eBay, just to see how much things are worth. And that's just putting in a Google search, checking out price comparison sites. Do your homework first. There's also other sites online that you can look at. Zavvi. They typically sell a lot of steelbooks, which again are, for those of you who don't know what steelbooks are, they're a metal case which the disc, typically Blu-ray or 4K, will be housed in, and it'll have nice artwork from a film on the front and often on the back. And again, Zavvi do very good deals at times, so it's always worth keeping a lookout. Another site to recommend is one called Rare Waves, and again they sell a lot of DVDs, Blu-rays and 4Ks. Their delivery times are a little slower than say HMV or Zavvi, but you can still pick up very good deals with them. They also do a rewards scheme where every time you make a purchase you get points, and then after some time you get so many points and you'll get, say, a £5 voucher. So again, another site worth looking at. Let's go back to the high street. Like I say, a lot of the supermarkets now have kind of stopped selling physical media, apart from Morrison's and Asda at this present time. Why not look in charity shops? Another great place to build a collection very cheaply. Typically you'll find mainly DVDs in charity shops. Usually you'll see deals again varying from like DVDs for 50p, 20p, £1, or bundles, 10 for £1, 10 for £2, this kind of thing. Again, I would recommend, if you're buying DVDs from a charity shop, always check the discs before purchasing, in case they're very scratched. It's not worth buying something and then you get it home, put it in the player and it doesn't play. So yeah, always check your discs. Another great place to look is Computer Exchange, or CEX. Again, this is a shop in the UK and they do have other branches around the world. It's an exchange shop, so you can take in used products, typically DVD, Blu-ray and 4K discs, and they also take in computers, smartwatches, games consoles, all this kind of thing. Generally, you'll find the DVDs in CEX are very, very cheap, 50p a pound at most. So again, you can buy the discs in there. If you do have issues with playback, you can always take them back for a return within a specified time frame. If you're looking to build a Blu-ray collection, it's another good place to start, CEX, because again, you will find Blu-rays at very, very cheap prices. The price of Blu-rays has come down drastically to what they used to be. Typically for a new release, you're looking at about £15 to £16 for a Blu-ray. For a 4K standard edition, you're talking about £25. For a standard release, £30 to £35 for a steelbook version of the film in 4K or Blu-ray. But you can find in CEX often standard Blu-rays, standard 4Ks at much reduced prices. So again, it's a good place for you to go and have a browse, see what films you're interested in. There are many, many stores around the country. They also have their own online shop. Although I would say with CEX, each item that you purchase is around about a £3 postage on top. But you can select a store option. So if you have a local store in your town or city near you, go on, browse, have a look and see what titles are there before you go in store, just to see, exactly what they have in stock. Sometimes you will go into the store and they don't always have everything that they appear to have on their website, but most of the time, it's a good tool. Saves you that trip in case there's something you are looking for, but it's not locally in store. But you do have the option to buy it online with a postage of around about £3. Another thing worth considering is Facebook Marketplace. If you on Facebook, they do have the marketplace there where you can look locally to find people selling physical media, whether it's DVD, Blu-ray or 4K in a local area. So again, you can go on there to see posts that people have put up, and maybe buy things on there. Personally, I have not done that, so I can't really give you any experience of that. But that's another option. There are also other sites called Vinted. Again, they have their own app and it works a bit like eBay. People put things on there to sell and you can buy different items in different categories. And again, people will sell DVDs and Blu-rays and sometimes 4Ks on Vinted. Generally, you have to pay a buyer protection fee with your cost of purchasing the item. And I do think that's going to be coming into eBay next year, with eBay fees being taken out in the UK. You don't have to pay fees for selling an item now on eBay in the UK. But I do believe there's a buyer protection fee coming in. So that's already on Vinted. So again, just be aware of these costs when you're buying things. And there's a wealth of these different sites. Etsy is another one that will sell physical media to a degree, not as much I've seen as say eBay or Vinted, but it's another option to consider. And then the final one, and this is mainly for the spring and summertime, although in some locations they do have these all year round, and that's boot fairs. Typically in the UK we have what's called car boot sales, and basically that is people taking their unwanted items to a field and selling them out of their car boot, essentially, typically on a table. And again, you can pick up some great deals on DVDs and Blu-rays in car boot sales. Again, always check your discs, make sure there's no scratches on them, make sure the condition of the items are good, because often these things might not be as good a quality, as say in a shop. So always sort of check the thing over before you're buying it, and maybe do a bit of haggling as well at a boot fair. I know for US viewers, you have often what are called swap meets or yard sales. It's the same thing, just we call it a different thing in the UK. But again, it's a great place to pick up physical media. And again, I do believe in the US, you will find sort of exchange shops, a bit like our CEX in the UK. But in America, you can go along to these exchange shops, and I know you still have a lot of these sort of smaller video rental stores that are still going even today. Sadly, we don't have that in the UK anymore. I think there may be one or two video rental stores in the UK, but they're more specialist and niche. But I do know that in the US, you do still have a few of these sort of independent stores. Again, it's great to go in and browse. You can't beat browsing in a shop. This is why I think charity shops in the UK are so popular to go and view, to have a look round, because people like to browse, like to find a bargain. But often or not now, it's mainly done online. So yeah, I think we've covered all the places that you could get physical media for at this present time. If there's anything else that anyone could suggest in the comments, then please pop them down, because anyone new visiting this video who's looking to start collecting physical media in 2024 going into 2025, this video is to try and help you. And it's just a bit of advice for you. So just to round off, just key points to think about if you're starting to collect physical media. Remember, with DVDs in the UK, it's region 2 that you're looking for. These will play in the UK. Unless you have a multi-region player, which if you see region 1, that's typically for the US market. Regions 3 and 4 are for the sort of Asian Australian market, but for the UK, region 2. Then on to Blu-ray. Blu-ray in the UK is region B, and Europe. Region A is for America, and region C is for Asia and Australia. However, with a lot of Blu-rays, that you'll often see the ABC logo all on one release. So that means it's a region 3 disc, so you can play it in any player around the world. So always check the back of the cases for DVD and Blu-ray, just to make sure that the disc will play in the UK typically. And again, if you're in a different country, your specific code. So for the US, if you're watching this in the US, it'd be region 1 for a DVD, region A for a Blu-ray. But the great news is with 4K Ultra disc, it's region 3. So all 4K discs, with the exception of 1 or 2, largely will play in any player around the world. So they're region A, B and C, or region 3. So I hope this video has helped anyone new that's sort of looking to build a physical media collection. Just some tips and tricks, that I'm giving you the value of my experience. I use a lot of these shops and sites, have done for many years. Always do your research, always look for bargains, and enjoy the journey. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope it's sort of given somebody new to this hobby a bit of advice. If you're new, why not consider subscribing to the channel? Hit that subscribe button down below. Come join the channel. I've got a wealth of playlists where I talk about physical media. Yeah. Please give the video a thumbs up as well. That helps me out. It tells YouTube that you like these sorts of videos, and that pushes out to others that may be interested in physical media and might consider sort of subscribing to the channel. Please leave a comment down below. If you're returning viewers, I know many of you are, and many of you, this video is not really meant for you guys because you'll know all this information. This is mainly done for anyone new coming across physical media. So yeah. Well, that's the end of the video. Take care and see you next time.